Good morning, busy dads and busy people everywhere. Why do I train burpees? That's a question I've been thinking about a little ever since a recent exchange with my friend Lee Hazard from the Strong and Condition channel. Lee and I had a brief back and forth about whether burpees are enough, and as a number of you pointed out, the answer to that question will really depend on what you're trying to use burpees for. If you want to be a professional gymnast or bodybuilder, then of course just training burpees probably isn't a good idea. So whether or not burpees are sufficient really is going to depend on the purposes that you're putting them to. So that got me thinking, well, what are my purposes as a practitioner of the Busy Dad program? It's not like I'm training to be a professional sportsman. What am I training for? Now, in some ways I've always been ambivalent about using the word training to describe exercise. As soon as you call it that, you imply that exercise isn't intrinsically valuable, that it's only valuable insofar as it serves some further end that you're preparing for. And I think there's some truth in that. I think at some level we're training for life when we train, when we do our training. But I also want to say that if the 80 minutes a week that I do in the Busy Dad program didn't help with anything else, I would still probably do them because I find them to be intrinsically meaningful and joyful. However, there is one athletic endeavor that I would say that I am training for as a practitioner of the Busy Dad program, and that athletic endeavor is fatherhood. Because I've realized more and more as I've developed into fatherhood, 3.5 years as a father, 3.5 years as a practitioner of the Busy Dad program, that fatherhood is a very demanding athletic endeavor, and it's possible to build something that I like to call dad fitness. And dad fitness is the thing that I'm training for, my friends. What is dad fitness? We all know it when we see it. It has a strength component because you need to be strong to carry one baby on one arm, one baby on another, a suitcase dangling off 3 fingers, march through an airport, telling them both the story as you go. There's definitely an element of strength, but it's functional strength because you need that all day long. You need it from the minute you wake up to the minute you put your child to bed. There's definitely an element of fitness, especially as they get older. You need to be able to join in their sports games if you can. You need to run around with them. I recently did, I think, a total of about a mile, walking on all fours with my 3.5-year-old child on my back. I was pretty exhausted after that. Dad fitness definitely has an element of endurance, but I think more than either the strength or the endurance that you need to be a dad, especially as your children get older, what you need is vitality. If your child wakes up early in the morning, you need to find a way of not being groggy with them. When you get back from work, you need to find a way of having energy left over for them. There's a certain level of vitality that needs to exude from your core if you want to be an engaged, happy, good father. And I think that burpee training has given me some of that vitality, some of that exuberance. If you only knew me from this channel, you might think that my sunny disposition is just kind of built in, but it's not. For many, many years of my life, I dragged my feet through life. I could get excited periodically for small things, but it wore off and my default state was a kind of heaviness. And the lightness of bearing that I've built over the last few years, it is, of course, informed by the joy that my daughter has given me, but it's also, I think, leveraged by the training I do. When I was a power lifter, I dragged my feet through sessions. My central nervous system was battered after 2 hours of heavy squats in the gym. I demanded 9 hours of sleep. All I could think about was food. And I was limping everywhere I went. I resented any kind of strenuous activity between sessions because it might hurt my recovery. Whereas now, as a burpee practitioner, as someone who trains just 80 minutes a week but trains hard, I'm bouncing off the walls. There are some forms of training that sap your energy and some kinds of training that give you energy. And if you want to be dad fit, you need a lot of energy. And I find that burpee training gives me that. So for the many things that I am grateful to burpee training for, and I'm just scratching the surface in this video, dad fitness is one of the things that I think they're giving me. And that's why I want to continue as a burpee practitioner way through my child's life into, I hope, grandfatherhood. I want to be granddad fit when the time comes. And I really think that burpee training will give that to me. And if you're training for dad fitness, then I'm definitely convinced. Burpee training, busy dad program style, it's all you need, my friends, for sure. So, this is a video about one aspect of what I'm training for. If this resonates with you, that might give you a deepened reason to train and to nourish your own burpee training practice. There are all kinds of further reasons to be grateful for burpees. There are all kinds of further reasons that we might train, further reasons that I train. But I just wanted to share this one in the hope that it resonates with some of you. All right, my friends, this is the last video from South Africa. We are going to be on a safari for the rest of this week. I'm really excited to show my daughter the wildlife here. And then we're going to be flying back to the UK. And I'm going to have to sneak in a 60-minute session this weekend. I'm really looking forward to getting into the pain cave with my 6 counts. We're going to be doing a 60-minute 6-count session back in the UK. But first, I've got some safari to do. So take care, my friends.